Thank you for joining the growing number of facilities using the ROBO Paws system to improve patient care while reducing the stress and workload of the staff. Welcome to this brief and hopefully helpful introduction on the use of ROBO Paws. First, the ROBO Paws is not a chair, it is a system or platform. You may be using it on a Lumix, a Broda, an Iris, or any number of other chairs with which you are probably already familiar. This means that when it comes to transferring patients in or out of the chair or cleaning it, you can continue to follow the basic common sense guidelines, such as making sure that wheels are locked and not using liquids around electronics that you already know and do on a daily basis. So what is ROBO Paws? It is a combination of power, motorized actuators, programmable brain, and sensors. The ROBO Paws name combines the notion of robotics, machines built to reproduce human activity, and PAWS, which stands for Programmable Automatic Weight Shifting. Philosophically, RoboPaws is just the next step in a process that's been going on for years, using technology to automate what we do on a regular basis, like IV pumps and Hoya lifts and low air loss beds and automatic blood pressure cuffs. Why do you need it? Because despite our best efforts, pressure ulcers resulted in 29,000 deaths in 2013, up from 14,000 in 1990. Your institution undoubtedly has its own SOP for how often the at-risk patient should be turned. And at the start of the shift, those of us who are caregivers have every intention of following that protocol. But 1 admission and 2 emergencies and 3 irate families later, our best laid plans have often been shattered. We also wind up leaving clients in bed more than we would like because it's easier to manage turns without having to get them out of bed. This sometimes makes it harder for us to do other routine tasks, like feeding and changing linen. It also means that clients who would benefit from being upright for better interaction, cognition, breathing, and digestion don't always get as much time out of bed as they and we would like. So how does it work? The RoboPaws brain is the small black box mounted on the side of the chair. It allows the therapist or other trained user the ability to determine how often the chair reclines, how far the chair reclines, how long it pauses in between each recline. The brain's memory records every shift and is available for 90 days. These will vary from client to client depending on whether he or she has an active pressure sore or just at high risk, whether there is good cognition or dementia, and other variables. The key here is not to change or adjust the settings that have been programmed. That would be like changing the O2 flow or the IV rate without specific instructions to do so. What you can't see, but what are a critical part of the RoboPaws system, are the safety sensors. These devices continuously look at every point in which the forward or backward movement of the chair might come into contact with an object or person. If a potential collision is sensed, RoboPaws stops and emits an audible beep until the obstruction is removed. Just with the devices mentioned earlier, we know it can be the little things that make or break how we feel about new technology. And so, this is the big deal. In the case of RoboPaws, it's this. Keep the unit plugged in. The system will power on and off by itself, based on whether it senses a weight in the chair. But the battery backup is for backup, not continuous use. It is for emergencies or transfers or situations where no electrical outlet is readily available. If you let the battery run down, the brain will get exhausted and stop working, much like what happens to us humans. And we won't work again until it's properly recharged. Depending on your system, you will see a sticker to remind you of this, and possibly an Max alert system that will monitor the battery status and give you audible warnings that the power reserve is low and needs attention. So what do you do if the system freezes? The same thing you do when your computer freezes. Just reboot it. And unlike your computer, if your system should ever temporarily lock in one position, you can manually override it to put the client into any position you need, including upright for transfer back to bed.
So what to do if the RoboPaws is not working? First, check the batteries. Are they charged? Check the display. Is it in the wait cycle? Is it turned on? If it is turned on, turn it off. And then unplug the silver plug on the back of the RoboPaws. Wait 30 seconds, and then reconnect the silver plug. Then turn the power back on. This should get the RoboPaws working again.
So there you have it. A few simple things to do that can make RoboPaws a fully practical addition to the tools of your trade.